Hello everybody! I am back with another video for you all you out there who like to watch YouTube. And today's video is going to be an awareness video and hopefully an inspirational video. But before we start this video, I just want to put this out there by saying how what I am about to share with all you out there is a story that I have never fully publicly shared with anybody, but I'm gonna be telling all you out there the full story. And I know I do Disney fun videos, and I do a lot of videos that are very like videos that most people could probably relate to you on my channel, who have disabilities or who love Disney. And but this video I'm gonna be saying today is not one of those family friendly videos, just to put that out there right now, because what I am going to be discussing in this video are serious adult topics that are not meant for children at all. And I'm only doing this once. This is not going to be a new routine for my channel, just so all you know out there. I just want to get my story out there. So yeah, I hope that all of you find this video inspirational, because this is a video I never thought I would be making in my whole entire life, and the video I never thought that I would be bringing to this channel. But I'm telling you this story now because I have gotten the strength in me and to fully say this story to all of you out there. Well, I don't know how to start this video right now, where I should start, because, well, when I laugh, that's a nervous laugh, not like a happy laugh, just so you know out there. But where to start this video is, my story started when I was in high school. Everybody's story is different, and please stay until the end of this video. I know this video is going to be a long video, but I just really want to get my story out there to all of you. But the domestic violence I'm going to be telling you about is relationship abuse. How it is being... I'm going to be telling you my story about how it was being with an abusers. October, if you don't know, it's October. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is the color purple. That's why I'm wearing my purple ribbon right here, why I'm wearing my purple shirt, and why I have my purple bracelet on. Yeah, I'm sure all of you probably wondering what this purple bracelet is for that I always wear on my videos. This purple bracelet is to raise awareness for domestic violence. Okay, now it's time to get into my story. My story began in high school. I dated this boy in high school I dated this boy for the boy I'm going to be telling you. This boy is still out there right now, but this is someone who I dated when I was younger, who I dated for about a year. Someone who I had a very serious relationship with at the time. And so this video is a bit, is very hard for me to be making. As I said it in the beginning of the video, it's something I never publicly shared with anybody because, well, I guess I was a bit sort of embarrassed to share it. But I'm not really embarrassed anymore because I gotta gather the strength to say this to all of you. When I first met this boy, he was a drummer at the time. I met him basically through mutual friends online, and I basically did not know who he was at the time, so I wasn't accepting him at first, but then I decided, I'm just gonna accept this person because they keep coming back to my online Instagram. So I figured I would accept him. It started from there. We started talking to each other for a few days on there, until he said, let's meet up in school. I go to your high school. A few days later, I had met up with him in school, and it was around Christmas time we met each other. And what happened was, when he came to me, he just seemed like this very charming and very nice boy. I didn't see anything really wrong with him when we first met each other, and of course everybody was saying it was cute at the time, the way he approached me, and it was cute at the time. But then a few days later, he asked me out on a date, which I thought was which I didn't really think of anything suspicious at the time, because I was unaware of the signs at the time. But now I look back on it, I think of it as being suspicious, how you just ask somebody out right away. So I said yes to him, and we ended up going on our first date with each other after we had just met each other. I didn't tell my family right away that we were dating, because him and I decided to keep it secret, and basically keep it for some time that we were dating each other. But when I told my family, when we got together with each other, then they just told me it was basically too soon to be together with him, because we just met each other. Shortly after that, he started to lie to me on where he was. At the time, it was January, and it was very, very, very cold out at the time. It was cold outside. It was January, and so yeah, there was snow on the floor, and I just wanted him to get home safely, because me being I'm very, very caring, where I don't want anybody to be in danger. But nobody knew where he was. I didn't even know where he was either at the time. So yeah, I was getting a bit worried, because it wasn't like him just to disappear without anybody knowing where he was. He would usually tell me at the time, and he would usually tell his family where he was going, and make sure he got home safe. To be reminded, this was right after school ended, actually, so he was supposed to be going home at the time. But then they found out he had actually gone somewhere else. But I know for a fact now that his phone wasn't dead at the time. He told me his phone was dead, but clearly he wasn't dead, because he was clearly able to call his mom, when she told me he had called his mom after he had finished where he was, which now I think back on it, I know he had lied to me, and he was cheating on me at the time. What happened was he actually did end up apologizing to me afterwards, after where he was, but not telling me he had gotten out of school and went somewhere that wasn't straight home, where his family wanted him to be home at the time, where they were expecting him to be home at the time. He apologized to me and basically started crying, saying how I'll never lie to you again. I'll never do anything like this again. Please forgive me. And so I just felt bad. So I forgave him at the time. I told him it was okay, and I thought he would never lie to me again, but I was wrong about trusting. I was wrong about that at the time. Then comes along February. He started to introduce me to his friends, and basically I haven't met his family yet at this point. Mind you, we just got together with each other a month ago. This is February now, I'm telling you. He started dragging me around the school at the time after that, so that way I was basically like a dog on a leash. He would grab my arm and be just pulling me and showing everybody sort of that he had got ownership over me. And he was even telling me at the time he owned me, and that what happened was, and at the time I didn't really think anything of that. I just thought it was cute that we were together like that, so I was just like, yeah, sure, we're together and we love each other. That's the bottom line. Come a few weeks later, I actually had one of the bullies who used to be mean to me actually come up to me and actually tell me that they had spotted him with another girl at the time, and they had basically shown me a message that he had sent to another girl on their post. I was like, no, there's no way, you're lying to me, because I was thinking this is a bully, they're just pulling my leg at the time, they're not telling me the truth. So I didn't really think anything about it. I went back and I told him about it though, because I would tell him everything already at the time, which is another red flag. I realize now, you telling each other everything, everything that goes on, everything that you tell your friends at the time. And what happened was he said, no, that's not true, that never happened, that they were just friends. So I was like, okay, I believed him at the time. So we didn't have any problems at the time. Come now March is when I could remember. That was when I met his family, and when he met my family, they started to ask me very personal questions at the time, which I didn't think was I answered the questions, not realizing at the time that was a bit weird, that we just met each other and they were asking me personal questions already. We would FaceTime each other every single night, and at the time we would still respect each other's privacy a little bit at the time by hanging up the phone at a certain time, but I'm going to tell you about that later on in this video. That was when I got my first smack. And I'm not talking about a playful smack. He actually smacked me in the face because he thought it was funny, and he started laughing, and this was when he was, of course, just me and him at the time. With him in the beginning, he never actually hit me in front of people. He would always abuse me when it was just me and him together. One of the kids in school, again, must have noticed some signs, and they would actually come up to me and tell me, "Hey, we noticed that he's been dragging you by the arms. Hey, we noticed the way he talks to you sometimes," because he would just be like very much on top of me at all times. And so the kids had told me at the times, and even the school had told me at the times, because this is something a lot of parents don't tell their kids. I was not told this, and so the school actually had told me at the time that to watch out for him and to watch out for abusive behaviors, and because I have a disability, to be extra especially careful. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll be okay. And I didn't pick up on that when the kids actually told me I told them where we were going, because I would tell the kids who I assumed were my friends at the time, I would tell them everything I was doing at the time, because I just felt happy. I was happy that I had someone who I assumed loved me back. And the kids actually told me to keep, when we go out places, to basically hold my own stuff, and to basically, if we went to the movies, to keep the popcorn on my lap so that way he doesn't grab me. I told them he wouldn't do that. He's not like that. He's not an abuser. He makes me happy, and he would never grab me, which, again, at the time, this was before things took a turn for very, very worse. He started to shove me against the lockers in the school just to be romantic towards me, which is not okay, because he would push me in a very aggressive way he would push me very aggressively towards the lockers, and would hold me there, and would sometimes make me be late for class, because he wouldn't let me go into the classroom until I told him that I wasn't going to tell anybody what we were doing after school, and tell anybody what he was telling me. Well, it turns out that someone had actually reported something to the school, that they noticed that he was being abusive towards me at the times, were abusive words at the time, and being abusive towards me by sometimes smacking me in the hallways. This is when he started smacking me in the hallways, and they started to notice him pushing me and smacking me, so they had said something at the time. I denied it all, saying that it's not true. I don't know where they heard that from, that was someone who wasn't nice to me. I told them even though it was someone nice to me, I was covering for my boyfriend at the time, because I didn't want to admit at the time what was really going on. So the school said, okay, and they didn't call my parents that day for that incident that someone reported, which I wish that they would have called my parents at the time now, because then maybe I could have got out sooner. They called his parents though at the time to tell them to keep an eye on him at the time, and to talk to him about what had happened. And I don't know exactly what was said to them, but he had told me, oh, why did the school call me? Why did the school call my house? I didn't do anything wrong to you. They lied. It's not true what's going on. I'm like, listen, I don't know. I didn't say anything at the time. I swear, I didn't tell them anything at the time, even though I did tell the school slightly that he was loving me a bit aggressively at the time, and they had just told me, okay, well, if it gets worse, tell them. So yeah, I got severely punished by him at the time, and what I mean by punished by him is I actually got a beating. What happened was I actually got punched in my arm, actually right here, and I got smacked in the face, and I actually got pushed by him, and I got pushed on the floor by him, and I never told anybody about this. And this was after school, when we were hanging out with each other again, when no one was around. He did this to me. I told him I was sorry at the time, sorry for saying what he thought I told the school, sorry for saying that he thought that I told the kids to tell on him, and that not to speak up to them or say something to them. And he told me that it was okay, and he had made up an excuse why he had beaten me up at the time. The following day, I had went to school, and here the school had noticed I had a black and blue on I had a black and blue on my arm, so of course they said something. But I spoke to the school when my para wasn't in the room, so she had not known what they had spoken to me about or what had happened, but she had actually noticed I had a huge bruise on my arm. I told her that it was a fight that me and my sister had gotten into the night before. And so she said, oh, okay, that's okay. Not really knowing anything at the time. Frequently now I know though that they have been actually contacting my parents to basically keep an eye on him, but my family at the time was like, they were not really noticing anything at the time. They were just brushing it off sort of at the time. Kids in my school, other boys actually started to tell me that they did not like the way that he was treating me at all, that I should find somebody else is what they would tell me at the times, that it's not healthy at all what he's saying to me or what he's doing to me. And the other boys actually told me that they had noticed he was actually abusing me. So I was like, no, he's not abusing me. And I actually got a bit angry towards them, actually calling them big names, because I was angry that they were accusing my boyfriend at the time as being an abuser. Every time he would abuse me, he would beat me. He had a name for the abuse. He would call it his sad side, or he would call it his sad side, or he would call his angry side and would tell me, oh, I'm sorry, I was just angry at the time. Oh, you just make me so angry. Why would you do this? Why? And he would tell me, oh, it's my fault that I got beat up. And he would never actually stick up for me when other people were being mean to me at the time either. Another day in school where I remember him beating me up, which was slightly in the crowd, if you know what I mean. It was going to lunch at the time where all the adults had already been down in the cafeteria already, getting ready for the kids to come in for lunch. He had pushed me down the stairs a little bit, and he had actually punched me in the face like this, which luckily I didn't get a black and blue on my face at the time. And so I just started crying, because at this point I was extremely hurt. And what happened was, he had just told one of the boys who was near me at the time, who was not really the best person either. He had blamed them at the time by saying, oh, why would you push her for? Why would you do that to her? Why would you say mean things to her at the time like that? He called me a sucker at the time. He yelled at me when we got home from school by saying, oh, you fucking bitch! Why would you not stick up for yourself at the time? Why do I always have to stand up for you in battles? Why are you not fucking stronger than you are? You're weak, is what he would tell me. I fucking hate you. I don't want to be with a weak girl, is what he would tell me at the time. So at this point I was just in tears. I apologized to him at the time by saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, you're right, I should have stuck up for myself, I'm sorry, I should have done something at the time. And after he saw me crying, he had told me again that it was angry him at the time who had did that and said those things to me, and that angry him should go with the sad version of me somewhere. But he had a name for when I would get sad too. He would tell me, look what the school is doing to you. The school is making you depressed like this, and would tell me that it's not good to me at all, that I shouldn't go to school anymore, and that and he would tell me that I should just basically not care anymore. Then he would ask me, well, what did the angry version of me do to you? What did the angry version of me say to you? And I would tell him, and he would say, oh, I'm so sorry, but now he's away in the closet somewhere. He's not going to come out again, is what he would tell me. At one point, one of the staff members did move us to class. They did say, hey, enough. No one really wants to. No one is interested. And I had to keep it. Basically, they would told me that, oh, yeah, we need to go to class, and told him to stop at the time, but then afterwards didn't speak to me about it at all. I just told them, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we were just being kids at the time, and they believed me. They noticed the black and blue was still on my arm, so at this point they started to question me again, and had sent me to the guidance counselor at the time, and I had told them, oh, it's nothing, I just went to the doctors, and I got a shot. It must be allergic reaction to the shot I got, which turns out no, it wouldn't be an allergic reaction after 10 days. Still have a black and blue on you. And he had told me to make sure you cover it up with your sleeve. Make sure no one sees it. So all this time I covered it up with my sleeve to make sure no one saw it. But when they did notice it, I was like, uh-oh, that's a different one. And they believed me again. So they sent me back to class without saying anything. The next, when things started to get bad, is when he started to stay on the phone with me 24 hours a day. I'm not even joking. He'd be on FaceTime with me and on all these video chatting sites with me 24 hours a day, always watching what I was doing, always hearing what I was saying at the time. So yeah, I couldn't even go to doctor's appointments anymore, and I couldn't even change anymore, and I couldn't even without him watching me, which he told me he was watching me to basically protect me from the dangers at the time. He thought that my family was a danger at the time, which is not true at all. When no one was home, he would tell me, oh, it's a safety thing, he's gonna watch me on the phone. But then it turned into every single day he would do this. Now, this is the point where, okay, my family started to notice things at the time. They noticed the black and blue few days, but I told them it was from the doctor. They started telling me that it's not healthy to stay on the phone all the time like this, that I needed to get off the phone with him, and I can't stay on the phone with him overnight, and I can't stay with him on the phone in the morning when I eat breakfast, because my family wanted to. Everybody wants to have their own privacy, if you know what I mean. I started telling the school, because I thought it was cute how we would stay on the phone, and I started telling the school cute messages he was sending me when I was in class. This is when he couldn't hear me, because obviously he was in school too, he was in the class too, and they had told me that it's not cute at all that their loved ones, their husband or their wife, doesn't talk to them that way, that's not healthy at all, is what they started telling me. And I just brushed it off. I was like, every relationship is different, you can't tell me how to manage my relationship, because that's what he would tell me to at the time. He would tell me oh, everybody should mind their own business. People should stop getting involved with us because every relationship's different and they don't have a healthy relationship is what he would tell me. It's not healthy if they don't hate each other. Or, it's not healthy if they don't tell each other everything. At this point, I was very angry. I stopped talking to everybody who I knew. He started cutting off my friends at the time. And he started to stop making me talk to the school by telling me, oh, I shouldn't be talking to them because they're a bad influence for me. So, yeah, I just stopped talking to everybody, even my family at the time, because he told me not to talk to them either. Then I tried to hang out with my best friend, and he was actually texting me constantly every 5 minutes when I was with my friend, and even during family parties too, when he wasn't with me. He started doing this in the beginning too, which I actually forgot to mention. He started saying, where are you? Why are you not answering me? What had happened? Did your phone die? Or what are you with another boy, bitch? And so I would always have to be on the phone with him even when I was with my friends. And when I actually hung out with my friend in person and he was there, he actually came to the place where I was actually hanging out with my friend, which now that I think about it is a bit creepy, and actually pulled me away from my friend at the time to say, I don't want you hanging out with her. You're supposed to hang out with me and answer me. What is she telling you to do? She's feeding bad stuff to you, telling you that I'm not a good person. He called my friend retarded at the time, and he actually told me that if I keep hanging out with her, then I'm gonna end up being more retarded, is what he told me. I'm already retarded, is what he told me, and I'm already hard enough to handle, is what he would tell me. So I started cutting off my friends. Then, at this point, he started telling me about how me and him should start a family together and how we should get married to each other, how he had all these basically plans, how he was going to move me out, he was going to start a family with me, which at the time I thought was cute, but now that I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, no, we're too young to even be talking about this at our age. And then he started telling me how what happened was that he was in charge and he would constantly tell me how he owned me and that if I disrespected him that we would have a problem, is what he would tell me. Constantly asking me, hey, do you trust me? Do you trust me? I would say yes, even though I didn't trust him. And every time he would smack me, I would flinch. He would tell me, why are you flinching, bitch? You shouldn't be flinching. And so I would flinch and he would still smack me because he'd be like, what? You don't trust me? Seriously? And it was like, yeah, I do trust you. I would tell him, I told him I just want my personal space. And then he would tell me, oh, well, I'm here with you. What, you don't love me? So I would have no choice. I would have to love him. I would actually have to forcefully sit on his lap at the time, forcefully hug him when we were walking down the street with each other or walking with each other, and if I didn't, he would just be pulling my arm down the street again. Oh, you think it stops there? No, it doesn't stop there. It gets worse. Like I said, I had to forcefully sit on his lap he started touching me and all. He started touching me where I didn't want to be touched at the time. So I would tell him, "Stop it! Why are you doing that?" And he would tell me, "Oh, it's all out of love. Don't mind me." What? You don't love me? You don't want me to do that? So I was like, sure. Even though I completely did not want that at all, he started touching me everywhere, which made me feel very, very uncomfortable. His family was actually telling me how, well, in a relationship, they're supposed to be their best friend, which is not true at all, and was telling me how, he would never, I started telling his family a little bit about what he was doing to me, and they're like, "Oh, stop lying, he would never do anything like that to you, he's not like that, why are you making stuff up like that, why is he so hungry all the time?" Which is another thing. He would constantly starve me all the time by taking all of my food when we would go out places, and constantly be drinking all of my drinks when we would go out places, telling me we only had a certain amount of money, that I couldn't order everything that I wanted to order, and that I eat too much. He would call me fat at the time, so I was starving. Meanwhile, his family would tell me, "Why are you starving him for? Why is he starving?" When really the only ones who I was talking to at the time was his family. I had nobody to talk to. To the point where one day it got to the point where he just told me, "Don't even talk to my family anymore. Just talk to me." So I cut off everybody. I literally blocked everybody on my phone, as he told me to block everybody. He literally, not even joking, he literally takes my phone and he literally removed everybody who he didn't like in my contacts list from my phone to make sure that I wouldn't talk to them anymore. One day, this is when the story gets a bit dark. So if you're sensitive to certain topics, please turn away at this point. I thank you for watching the video up until this point. One day he told me we were going for a walk. He took me for a walk, and what had happened was there was snow on the floor at the time. He started raping me. I remember this day like it was yesterday, and he didn't only do this once. He did this multiple times to me. He raped me on multiple different occasions, on multiple different days. I asked him where we were going, and he told me don't worry about it. And what had happened was he actually started touching me. I told him, "Please stop touching me in that way. I don't want that." And we went in a place where there was nobody around either, so I didn't think anything was gonna happen. But in my mind, I secretly knew something was gonna happen at the time, if you know what I mean. He pushed me on the floor, held me down, and luckily he had a condom with him at the time. He put the condom on so fast, but then what he had done is, when I tried to get up, he pushed me down. He pushed me down again. He held me down. He stripped off all my clothing at the time, and yeah, he just started to rape me violently in the snow. When I started screaming, he started covering my mouth like this and holding me literally down like this. by telling me to shut my dirty mouth, that someone was gonna hear us at the time, and if I didn't stop, things were gonna get worse. And I still have nightmares about this to this day. I'm not even joking. I still can recall the whole incident in my mind about what had happened that day, because after he had done that to me, he had basically, and at the time I had people telling me that they knew he was an abuser, they could tell, that started telling me that if he had ever done anything like that, to scream as loud as I can and tell someone right away. I was screaming as loud as I can, but he was covering my mouth, and I never told anybody after that day what happened, because I was scared about what he was going to do to me at the time. He took me down this very steep slope after that just to torture me, because he told me, I told you not to scream. What if someone would have heard us? Are you kidding me right now? You want me to get arrested? You want me not to make us money one day? You want me not to get the job that I always dreamed about getting? You want me in jail? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And so he basically took me to a whole bunch of thorns, not even joking, thorns and snow, and told me, oh, be careful I don't fall into the lake, is what he told me. Which now I did tell my family afterwards, after this whole entire incident, that I'm able to talk about it now, and they said they wouldn't even bring their worst enemy that way. It was horrible the way that he actually told me how slippery it was, and how he told me also about my disability, that, oh, I have a stupid disability, to find my way out of there and to find us a way out of there. I was like, but I want to go the regular way, even if he did that to me. I was so shaken up that he had actually done that to me, what he had just done to me, that I was like, sure, we'll go the dangerous way. I was shaken, you know what I mean? And so what happened was, he was like, use your disability to find us a way out of here, because you see things a different way. So yeah, he made me lead the way through all the thorns and the fucking branches that could have poked my eye out at the time, and the freaking snow all over the floor with the ice down the steep freaking hill that they could have fallen face first into the water. But luckily we made our way out of there. When we got out of there, he told me, and my family was actually texting me, where are you? Why are you not answering? He told them, sorry, we went the long way. We wanted to explore a little bit. And what happened was, he told me when we got out of there, don't you dare fucking say a word about this. If you say a fucking word about what it just did to you, I swear I will freaking lose my temper again at you, and I swear bad things are gonna happen to you. And what he told me to say is, if we saw any people at the time, just tell them that we got lost and we didn't know where we were, and that what happened was we were dirty because we fell. So I was like, okay. We didn't see anybody at the time though, when we were on our, we didn't see anybody at the time though. Oh, excuse me, they didn't even text my phone, because remember how I told you how he told me not to talk to my family? They contacted him on his phone to ask where we were. I shouldn't have left him that day. I really should have left him that day. but I stayed with him, and he got even worse. What happened was he told me, I told people slightly at the time that what happened was that he had things planned for me that I didn't know what was planned, and he told me, why would you tell people our personal business? And what happened was he actually turned me against everybody. I'm sorry to anybody who I may have been mean to at the time. This is why I was mean to you. I'm sorry. He started telling me to run away from home and to basically drop out of school and he started telling me that he was going to protect me, to run away from home and to actually set up a tent in the woods where he was going to come and give me food and everything at night. He tried to kill my family pet at the time by basically putting it out of the house when no one was home, which luckily we found it and it was able to return home safely. But he started telling me to do very evil things that I didn't want to do at the time, that I couldn't do because I know that it's not the right thing to do, you know what I mean? Until one day he actually ended up, I still don't know exactly what happened, but I can assume that someone seriously reported him because someone seriously may have glanced at my phone and seriously probably saw what he was telling me at the time on my phone and saw he was watching me at all times by him saying, be on your phone, don't go be on your phone, keep your phone charged at all times. And he was actually arrested at the time. They let him out though, and then they got in big trouble after that because he told me, how dare you? Why would you call the fucking police on me like that? Why would you do that? And I swore literally everything that I didn't do. I didn't call the police. I told them, I'm like, I didn't call the police. I swear, I didn't call anybody. And he would also tell me all the time, oh, bitch, you're incapable of calling 911. You could never call 911. And there were a couple of times where he was actually beating me, where I actually almost called 911, and I almost walked away from him a few times. But he told me that if I called 911 or if I left him, he would expose basically lies about me to everybody and would tell everybody that I was the abuser. I was abusing him at the time, and he would get me arrested instead. So I actually was still covering for him at the time by saying, no, he didn't abuse me, no, it's not true, even though he did. And one day I actually ran away from school because he told me to not go home one day. So yeah, after school was over, I actually ended up taking a bus somewhere that I was supposed to meet him. And I actually thank God that my family was actually knew something at the time, and like they were actually able to find me. How? I don't know how. I literally turned off all location services at the time with my family and everybody. The only one I was sharing a location with was him at the time, because he had forced me to share a location with him so that way he would know everything I was doing to make sure I wasn't cheating on him. And so yeah, I got in trouble, and then he actually told me also to basically eliminate the problem at the time, which is basically he wanted me to kill my whole entire family because they had started realizing things, and I guess he noticed that. This is after we broke up with each other. The reason why I broke up with each other like that is because, well, my family actually broke us up with each other by saying how we couldn't see each other anymore. But me and him didn't like that at all, so we were still secretly seeing each other behind my family's back and still secretly communicating with each other behind my family's back, which I feel horrible about doing this. So yeah, he told me to kill my whole family, which I couldn't kill them at the time because I know I'm not the type of person to hurt or kill anybody. I just can't. So yeah, I pretended like I killed them to try to make him happy at the time. And what he told me is, he's like, "Oh no, you didn't kill them. I heard the whole thing. I would have heard them screaming, and oh, what did you do?" And he knew I was lying because, well, I just couldn't. And so when he realized I didn't do that, he had told me that night to actually forcefully call the cops on my family, and basically the next day to tell the school I was being abused by my family. So I called the cops, even though I told them I didn't want to call them, that there was no emergency, why do I have to call them? But he told me to call them, otherwise he would fucking break up with me and never ever talk to me ever again. So I called them, and they came to my house at the time, and basically I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything at the time, but they noticed that what happened was, like, the police knew it obviously wasn't my family who was abusing me, and he started, I guess, suspecting something was fishy about that at the time. And they actually had ACS come to my house the next day because I have a brother and sister who's actually younger than me. So yeah, the school had to send ACS to my house just to check, because he actually told me what to tell the school that my family was doing. He actually told me to tell the school that, my family was beating me up and that I didn't feel safe there, to get me out and put me somewhere else. And yeah, so they came to the house and they didn't see anything because I'm not being abused here, just to put that out there right now. That was just a lie that he made me tell them. Then the police suggested that my parents actually make sure I don't leave at night, because they knew he was a danger to me. And every night, my family actually explained, every night I would actually try to run out of the house, because he would tell me I need to forcefully meet him somewhere, so that we can run away together and be together again and love each other again. So yeah, I didn't leave my house, and he'd be like, "I came all this way and you're not here, where are you?" So yeah, the police suggested that I actually limit all contact with him. So yeah, at this point, my family thought that I was unable to speak to him, but actually, I was actually speaking to him privately at the time, through somewhere. And this is when basically the story is almost over. At this point, this is when he actually told me we were talking somewhere, and he told me that he would protect me forever, that he loved me forever, but he was being watched, and he couldn't say he loved me at the time, which I knew he wasn't being watched. He was just saying that. And so he was also telling me that what happened if I didn't get out of there, bad things were gonna happen. So yeah, basically he made me stay in the woods for a whole entire day when he was actually in school, to the point where my family actually got worried, and they actually almost set up a wanted notification out for me, because at this time they knew me. They knew I wouldn't just leave. I wouldn't just go missing like that. What happened was, basically, I wasn't even calling my family by their names anymore. He made me start calling them numbers that they were telling me, tell them that they're not worth anything. So yes, it started saying that, and what happened was, then I actually got a surprise visit from someone at my door. It was the police. My ex-boyfriend actually set up a warrant for me to actually get arrested, because he was mad because he missed the whole entire day when he was arrested. So he told me that he did that to get revenge on me at the time, to basically teach me a lesson, is what he told me when I asked him what this was all about. Yeah, first when I got it, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, someone probably forced him to sign the papers. No way he would send this to me. He told me he loved me. He told me that he would never do anything like this. He told me he would protect me. He told me that what happened was basically that he would basically get me out of any situation I was in. But then I found out that it was him that actually signed the papers, that he had actually made a fake complaint about me to actually get me put in jail for a day. I stopped talking to him after this point for a little bit, but then the harassment started getting very, very worse. I started having his friends. I actually changed my number 3 times because he guessed my phone number 3 times from people. And basically, I started having his friends harass me on the phone by saying how, why would you do that to him for? He's a sweet, innocent kid. He wouldn't do anything like that to you. And basically, I had this person on my phone actually tell me to meet up with them somewhere in school. So, yeah, I actually was stupid at the time. I was like, sure, I'll meet up with you, but thank God no one ever showed up, because I don't know what would have happened, because the way he was talking at the time, he was actually telling me that to get us together again, he was going to set up a fight where, his friends were actually going to beat me to the point where I almost couldn't move. Then he was going to basically tell my family, oh, I saved her, let us be together again. And that's one other plan he had, was he was actually going to make a noose for me somewhere and actually pretend to actually hang me, which I know that it wasn't just hang. He was actually going to actually hang me, you know what I mean? At this point, he was talking about guns. He was talking about basically stabbing people. He was talking about basically hanging people, and basically talking about basically just poisoning my whole entire family at the time, poisoning me at the time. Then months later, even I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to him a little bit because I forgave him again after that. I was like, I'm a very forgiving person. I'm like, you let me forgive him even though he put me away. But this was the last straw. This is when I said, can't do this anymore. I literally cut him off after this, and literally sent him a message, not on my phone, on someone else's phone, telling him, I never ever want to speak to you ever again, or your family ever again. And if you call me that, what happened was that I told him, don't ever call me ever again, or my family ever again. And basically, yeah, he sent more papers to my house, and it wasn't even the end of it. This is where it was. I was bad. This is just this constant back and forth with each other, back and forth, fighting with each other through the actual court systems, where he actually got a fake order of protection on me to say I was the danger out there, that he needed to be protected against me. I never actually was able to get an order of protection against him, which, yeah, hopefully one day I actually can get an order of protection against him. But yeah, the second time he got me arrested was because I, at the time, did not have any social media at the time. I cut off everything at the time. I was basically limited, not talking to anybody at the time. So he set up a fake account about my family on there, pretending to be my actual family on social media, trying to actually follow me. Then was like, oh, they're trying to follow me, but don't tell anybody though. Then he actually set up a fake account using my first and my last name on there, and DM'd himself saying how I was gonna kill his whole entire family, and that what happened was I was gonna do bodily harm to him. So yeah, I got arrested for that, and that was the last straw. That was when they realized, oh, I can't do this anymore. We have a real serious problem. I don't want to be with this ever again anymore. And then through constant therapy and through constant family support that I realize that I have now, I'm able to make this video because I'm stronger now and actually healed in a way now. But I will have to say this. I will never ever forget what I saw in that jail cell when I was actually there. I will never ever forget me actually being handcuffed the whole entire day and handcuffed to the metal bar, which still hurts me to think that someone who I love could do something like this to me. Makes it hard for me to trust these days, and also makes me be diagnosed with PTSD recently from this whole entire thing, and I have a bit of anxiety too. Yeah, I haven't dated anybody after this whole entire incident that happened to me because I'm still like I haven't dated anybody after this because it was traumatic and because I was scared to actually say this story to anybody who I might be leading to why I may flinch at times, or I still flinch at times. I still get scared going to certain locations for me actually go to certain places. I still get scared when I see snow on the floor or when I hear that it's gonna snow out. I still get scared to go for walks alone at times, thinking that he's gonna be there because, yeah, even still to today, not You're not that much today. But up until recently, I was still being stalked by my ex-boyfriend, which is very, very scary for me. Also, the message I'm going to leave you with today is that what happened with, if someone says it's abuse, if someone is pointing signs out to you, and if someone is also, please listen to what people tell you. I know it may be hard, but they're trying to protect you, because through this whole thing, I actually got closer with my family, and thank you to everybody who's helped me get to the point where I am today. Thank you for everybody who's sticked around. It really, really means a lot to me. And please don't wait to tell anybody like I did. I know it, I understand now that it can be extremely hard to tell someone. But yeah, please tell someone if you notice your friend is being abused, or if you're being abused yourself. Together, let's bring a voice to abuse, and together, let's put an end to abuse. We're all in this together, everybody. Well, I hope that you found this video inspirational. If you found this video inspirational, which again, it's something I'm posting and never shared with anybody, and you found this video helpful, please share with other people who you know my story. That would mean a lot to me, and please just be aware of these red flag signs I mentioned in this video. If you would like, it would mean a lot to me. Please give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you made it till the end of the video. I know this was a long video, and don't forget to subscribe don't forget to subscribe. Hit the red subscribe button down below. And also, now that I make this video, I'm fully able to, and I'm fully strong enough to answer any questions that you may have down in the comment section down below. So yeah, please leave your comments down in the comment section down below if you have any questions, if you have any comments about this video. I will get back to you. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye until next time, everybody.